All right, everybody, I'm here, and I just realized I managed to get an onion from my soup because I was snipping the onions when I was making it earlier into my coffee cup. So I had a nice green onion floating in my soup or my coffee. So yay, welcome. I'm gonna do some writing. I just watched the Geeks and Gamers crew over on the Moonskulls channel doing some taste testing of Sevi and JJ's cooking. You'll be happy to know they're all still alive. Man, I gotta trim my mustache again. Already again. My hair grows too fast. All right, so you'll notice that I'm not in dark mode today because I was doing some testing and some formatting because images need to be a certain DPI when you use KDP. DPI for KDP, yeah. Dots per inch resolution for Kindle Direct Publishing to look good and crisp. So I'm trying something out, and that's why I'm not in dark mode. That is why I'm not in dark mode. Let's make sure that the titles didn't switch on me. Titles did not switch on me. This is good. I don't expect a whole lot of people to be chatting and hanging out today because it's a busy day. A busy day for busy folks. So I'm just going to sit here and write and work. And if you want to say hello, say anything, chat, poke fun at me, any of that stuff, just go ahead. Feel free. All right. Here we go. Boop, 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 boop. So I'm reformatting things so I can have a consistent size for the Calvino and Frost pictures in here. So like page width on a book, they'd look like this. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. I'm trying to decide if they're going to go in little sidebars or if I'm going to keep them like this. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. We're going to find out. Let's go back up a tiny bit. My eyes are pretty okay today because it's been a rather bright day and I was outside for the morning. So they're watering a little bit from the brightness, but I think I can make it through a stream without being blinded by it. All right, so what I've done is gone back to the beginning here, and I'm trying something out. I'm going to add all this stuff to the first chapter, and then I'm going to add a little bit more text, and I'm going to go over to the 6x9 version of the format for the book I have. That is the one I'll be using for Kindle or Amazon KDP, and I will be pasting this chapter in there to see how it translates format-wise. I'm curious how it's going to end up. All right. Okay, so we need to grab this guy and this guy. Boop. Need to go down here. And we're going to go right here, and we're going to paste both of these guys. Well, hello, and thank you for all the halos, Shadlow. And we're going to push this one down. And we're going to copy this one in. Boop, 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 boop. Hit the wrong button. Don't hit the wrong button. Hit the right button. Oh, goodness. There we go. Is that about the same spacing? It doesn't look like it. Nope. It needs to be right on the bottom of the line. There we go. All right, so here's the thing. There we go. I got to figure out why sometimes the spacing gets changed. And messes itself up. Because that should be in line with that, and it's not. And it's done this before, too. Okay, so moving it over. Getting it to there means I have to step outside of that. That doesn't make sense. If I bring this down to the bottom, it pushes it over, and that pushes it over all the way. Okay, interesting. So that is the same format. All right. So it needs to be on the bottom, but this one's not on the bottom. They're the exact same sized image too, which is weird. Oh well. Anyway. And we're going to fix this. Dragon lives. Well, that's good. You didn't have any of the mac and cheese, so you have survived. Woohoo! Um. All right, so there we go. Got the story part. We're gonna hyphenate this. That's gonna go. That's gonna go there. Okay, we got it there. We got there. And I think we're gonna plop him in here. The question I have is, why isn't it locking it to the margin? It's supposed to be, which is weird. I specifically formatted it to be 0.2 inches away from the left margin. Adequately digestible. Yeah, as much as, a lot of cheese will be. I think they'll make it. They may thank her and JJ for it because it was a lot of cheese. And that might bind them up. So when they are traveling or they're through their day, they probably won't have to go use the bathroom. And they didn't do anything egregious. Everything is cooked well. You can't really mess up mac and cheese by not cooking it enough unless you don't cook the pasta. So, yeah. Okay, this will be a note for actual note, not a fake note. Excuse me. I was outside this morning doing stuff, and I got smacked in the nose with technically it was a thorn, not really a thorn bush, but like a thistle that I was getting out of the way because I was trying to get over near the outlet vent where the dryer was just to make sure. And I think I got some little burr or thistle fragments in my nose because I'm still kind of like sneezing a little bit because of it. It's just like, it's fun. It's not that fun. Plant fiber. That sounds really disgusting. That sounds really gross. Are you sure it's not asbestos or fiberglass? So I remember how they processed it all. It's interesting to me that one player remember enemies. Okay. I don't know about that. Huh. That is very interesting. I'm very confused about why it's spacing it like that, but we'll figure it out. That's part of the formatting I'm going to do in the other book. Need a better job looking at your schedule. Writing is fun. Writing is a lot of fun. It's also an incredible amount of work. I'm juggling all the different things that I'm writing, and it's incredibly fun and really rewarding. But switching gears sometimes, it doesn't take me long to do it, but it is definitely tiring. I don't think that works. I don't think that quote works. How would I put this better? I gotta make this a little more succinct. It'll also shorten the little quote. This would be good. I'm gonna take this part out. I'm gonna use that later. Let's move that down. Oops. Want to do that. All right, we'll move this up and we'll put it right there. We'll say skill. Oh yeah. I do it I do it very differently because there are a lot of people who actually do that Dragon Noodle Soup. There are a lot of people who I hate this delineation because people glom onto it and people love doing that for writing streams. They're like, are you a pantser or a plotter? And I want to just pick them up and do the Batman slap because that's it's such a horrible, stupid, childish way of saying it, in my opinion. Do you write by the seat of your pants or do you plot things out? Now, plotters are most people who write, and they will come up with a format. They will come up with an idea. They will come up with all these things, and then they will write an outline. And they'll come up with an outline. Like Brandon Sanderson does this. They will come up with an outline. Some people do it to a small degree. Some do it to a great degree. He evidently plans everything really, really well. And then just writes it all out because he's like, I know what's happening in this chapter. This is where this part of the story, this is where this is happening. Here's the denouement. Here's where everything wraps up. Boom, we got it all on paper. And they'll do charts and graphs and stuff. The pantsers are the ones who are like, I know what my story's about. I know where things are supposed to kind of happen in the story. Like, yeah, I got a line like this about maybe here's the halfway point of the book, climax, and halfway point, and then go. And they just kind of go with it and learn what the characters are as they do it. Other peoples have created an entire spreadsheet of every character, and they've written down everything and said, okay, here's what I know about the character. They like fudge. They do not like paprika. They enjoy buses. They don't like driving in their little car. They don't like this. They're allergic to cats, and they'll write everything down about them. And they can use it in the whole story, and some they'll throw out, some they'll keep. I generally don't, and I hate their way of doing it, so I'm an alchemist when I write. I have all the basics. I have all the ingredients. I have all the stuff I know or need. I know where the book ends or the book starts and the book ends. I know where the climax should be and kind of the idea and the protagonist and the antagonist and some of the side characters. And then I dive in and start writing. And sometimes it takes me to really unexpected places, like super unexpected. I'm like, oh, I just had an amazing idea. I'm going to switch what this character was doing. And you get some really fun bits and pieces out of that. But people who plot things, they do a lot of that while they're plotting it. And they have that vision in their mind and they write it like that. And they're like, oh, I know what I'm doing now. And then they'll say, this is where this happens. And, you know, like M. Night Shyamalan, they're like, here's what the twist is right here. The twist is here and the twist is here. And they've got them plotted out. And some of them even actually use little diagrams and little flow charts. There's writer programs that would have, here's a twist, here's the thing. And they have a little emoji or icon for all the little bits and pieces. And they're like, I got to spread them out enough so it feels good to them and has it all like plotted out. And that's how they write. So I am definitely more of an alchemist rather than architect. I don't, I call them alchemists and architects because I like that better. The alchemist is a little more, I'm going to put some of this in the pot and see what happens. And if the kettle blows up in my face, I go back. Architecture, like if you don't have a solid structure, it's not going to work. And it just depends on how you write, really. It really depends on how you write. It's like for me in DMing, that's the whole book is about here, is about improvisational skills as DM. Because I like to have a thin framework, a light, quick ship on the ocean, and it can be agile and get around stuff. Other people like to plan everything out and know all the stuff, and they're like, we can go through a glacier. I know what I'm doing. I'm like, if I run into a glacier with my ship, I'm going to be in problem. In problem? In problem. I'm going to be in problem. I'm going to be in trouble is what I'm trying to say. Oh, the cooking stream ended. I missed the very end of it. Well, that's on me. I was kind of watching it and lurking, but I wasn't listening, so. I'm going to turn my music back on here real quick. Oh, let me make sure, though, while I do that, I don't have my desktop audio coming through good. You guys can't hear music, right? 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 Okay, there we go. You don't hear any? Woo! It's always a point in a story where, due to previous circumstances, your character is basically required to make certain choices. Otherwise, characters won't be consistent and lessens the quality of the story. Sure. Yeah, and that comes down to what the promises you've made at the beginning of the story. And that's something that a lot of people do forget about. They'll start writing a story, and it's why I hate when people write prologues to a story and attach it to the beginning of a book, because that's a personal pet peeve of mine. Because they'll start a prologue and they're like, I don't know, Barley-gore, the vulnerable, he's doing this thing, and this is how he set all his things in motion. You start getting in the head of this character who's like in the past, 10,000 years ago. It's doing all this cool stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, this guy's cool. And then they're like, cat knocks the vase off the table. Okay, so that's just a dude. Yeah, whatever. Here's the main character. I'm like, but I want to hear more about Barley-gore the Vulnerable. No. Jack is the main character. And here you go. Like, no. That's beside the point. But when people start working on a story, they'll like start with a tone. They'll explain a few things, and they really set the tone. They're like, hey, this person is looking for A, who killed his parents, and B, how can he protect his cousin Elmo, who's in trouble with the prince or something. I don't know, whatever it is. And people expect somewhere in the book, you're going to get both of those answered, or at least have the story progress to a point where they're like, hey, this is going somewhere. If you never come back to his cousin, what the hell are you doing? People are like, hey, what happened about the cousin? Oh, yeah, there was a cousin. So that's where a lot of planning can help, and consistency, making sure that you hit all those points. I'm pretty good about keeping that stuff in my head, though I don't do it on paper. But I have some friends who write, and they can't do without their Post-it notes in their book, because they put them all in there and then they move them when they're writing their notes to the right spot. They're like, okay, this is going to get resolved here. This is getting resolved here. And when they go through and resolve it, they put a little check on it. If they use a physical notebook, some people use plotting programs, and that way they know I hit them all. I hit all the parts. I usually do a lot of that in my head. It's like also like Chekhov's gun. If you show a gun in the first act, it better go off or be used or factor into the story somewhere. Otherwise, why did you have it in the scene? So it's kind of fun. And there are a lot of different ways of approaching writing, so it's fun. I was reading some other stuff, and just some random books on Kindle. There's some terrible stuff out there, by the way. Let me tell you. I need to go to another playlist here. Let's see if this one has a good song on it. I've never heard that song in my life. Weird. Okay. I feel like I'm going to sneeze again. Dang it. I do not want to sneeze. Dang it. Stop it. One of the things I love writing is dialogue, by the way. I love writing dialogue. It is so much fun. I do it. I don't know. Some people like the way I write it. Some people don't, which is fine, because some people are used to a different style and they love dialogue tags. And I don't love using dialogue tags a lot, but it's to each his own. I mean, you'll get people who love it. You'll get people who hate it. My acquaintance who beta read one of my stories for me is an anime fan, and so he was demanding more dialogue tags and more descriptions of how everybody was feeling at every given moment, because he couldn't puzzle it out. And I said, that's literally the way I write, is through the writing explains it, and other people who are deeper readers are like, I had no trouble telling who's what. It depends on what you expect from your reader, and I do expect a lot, which I don't know. It's personal preference. I like it. So it probably would limit what I'm writing to a smaller audience, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Friend of yours from work knows someone who put out a hard copy book, and it's one of the worst things I've ever read. Yeah, I have some acquaintances that I've gotten their books from, like on these other writer networks, because I like to support them. They're like, my book is out, and I'll buy it, and I'll either get an electronic copy or a physical copy, depending on what I feel like doing. And oh dear, oh my goodness. I try to be so nice about it, but I also, my game designer brain, I'm just like, if I don't tell them this is not good, they're going to keep doing it. So I've had some, what you'd call hard, crucial, difficult conversations with people. A couple of them don't talk to me anymore. One of them, after that, asked me to beta read their next piece, and I sent them a page of notes on the beginning of it, and they said, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like you just punched me in the stomach, pushed me down, took my lunch money, gave me a wedgie, and then told me to go home and get more lunch money and bring it back tomorrow, but thanks. Like, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but none of what you wrote made sense. Because they didn't explain stuff. And they're like, no, you get the explanation. Like, okay, I get that. We'll get that explanation. But I'm like 30 pages past it and I still haven't gotten an explanation. And it was weird. It was somebody in a hospital bed recovering from something, and I guess it was sort of an anime trope or something, where they were recovering from being partially turned into some other creature or something, or I don't even know what it was. They got some powers or something and were recuperating and didn't want to they didn't want to indulge in whatever the monster part needed, or the animal or creature, whatever the hell it was. I can't remember what it was. I know I'm doing a great job of explaining this, but I'm trying not to give away their story. And they kind of like had sort of amnesia, but didn't. And I said, this is intriguing and interesting. I kind of want to know what's happening to them, but it really feels like all you're doing is exploring some kind of trauma that you personally have, because I'm not getting that any of this is related to this person. And the person said, well, yeah, I did have this kind of problem because I'm bipolar, and I had a problem when I was in the hospital because I wasn't doing this and that, and I was using it for this character. And I was like, oh, I can tell you're intimately familiar with this situation, because it feels like you're intimately familiar with some certain parts when you're describing waking up and this and that. I said, what I'm not getting is how that relates to anything else in the story. It literally is an interesting scene that has nothing to do with anything else you've written. And they're like, oh, okay. When they gave me the second, the third, the fourth, they've done like 7 drafts of it. It's getting better, but it's a lot of work. If like because you understand some of this, there's a certain way to do things that people are going to relate to and understand, and there's also a way to just write stuff down and say, look, I have created story. It takes some work. Let's see. Don't like writing dialogue, but Dumas is a master in it. Love reading it. Thing is that just because you have an entire fantasy world doesn't mean the whole story has to take place everywhere. Yeah, it can take place in a small thing because the world is big. There should be a world going on beyond it. Probably trauma from elementary school days. So great when they create great creative writing of 7-year-olds by the amount of typos. Woo! Dumas is good. If you want I've said this before, if you want a modern example of some really well done dialogue, I love Lawrence Block. I mean, he's got so many different styles, but he's never had a problem having people talk. And you usually know who is talking by what they're saying. Once you figured out the characters in the first, chapter or so. And as he introduces new people, he does the traditional, oh, this is how this person will be introduced, and then you'll come to kind of understand their cadence and their feel. I think he's fantastic. My friend, who's my editor, she introduced me to his stuff in the 1990. I want to say 90 something around the 90s, and I've just never looked back. I've read everything he's ever written except for his lesbian fiction that he wrote under a woman's name in the 60s or 70s, whenever it was. He wrote lesbian romances because he was like, I don't know. I think he said it was either he was trying to get into a different market, or I think he did it as a challenge. I can't remember. I'd have to go read the story, but he wrote those. But he also just has written so many other fun, like spy thrillers and like cop thrillers and this and that. It's good stuff. What's interesting too is I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna be doing some more like little shorts for writing videos, because I don't know, people have asked me to do a couple more. I'm like, sure, I can do a couple more. They're like the 6 people who've asked. They're pretty easy to put together, kind of quick. The feedback I've gotten on them has been interesting because some people are like, no, duh. Thanks for stating something that's already been stated. I'm like, great. That means you know it. And other people have said, oh, that's a very interesting point. I've had a few people also just say, nope. Those are kind of my favorite comments. I'm like, oh man, I want to know more now. Why nope? But going down that route of exploring how I write and why I write has been pretty fun. Because I just kind of started doing it. And I never took a creative writing class or anything. And I've never done anything. I just read a lot of books. And I used to just only write poetry. And then there were articles and things. And one day, I was just talking to my friend who's the editor. And she just said, you definitely should write. Because she's a very good writer. And I was like, sure, I should just do that. And I just did it. It started the next day. I'm like, all right. And after a while, I had a whole book, which is fun. It reminds me, I got to bug Chrysanth and see where she got to. I'm also going to check if she's still alive. Because I sent messages to a couple other people and nobody responded. I'm like, oh no, but most of them are offline. I'm like, oh no. Everybody who ate the mac and cheese in my DMs is offline right now. Oh, nope. She sent me hi Chrysanth. You say she sent me a skull. There. I said she had a good run. At least she has a book to read while she perishes. Send me notes in your will, please. Yeah, have his name noted. Yeah, and it really depends, kind of, Barney. If you're thinking you want to read something that's a little whimsical, if you want to read something that's weird with conspiracy theories and like strange societies and kind of weird, crazy spy 70s stuff, if you want to read something that's dark and gritty, like super dark and gritty detective stuff, or if you want to read something that's kind of dark but also darkly humorous, he's got all kinds of stuff. He's all over the damn place, which is, you know, like one of the reasons I kind of like him, because he tries a bunch of stuff. All right, where are we going here? Uh, we'll say be hard. Sounds fun. Yeah, he's got some good stuff. If you ever see the movie Walk Amongst the Tombstones, I think I mentioned that too. That's definitely a good example of his gritty stuff. All right. There's no secret. There's no guild of DMs who rate your skills and give you a report card and a tailored improvement plan, though there are creators who grade themselves and others based on the criteria they themselves come up with. Hearing someone say they're a level 3 DM or a 6 circle DM. Let's see. Or whatever, it makes me chuckle. Most people making sites and videos are likely somewhat talented or they wouldn't feel emboldened to share with you. Some aren't, but they feel emboldened anyway. Putting that in parentheses. In any case, you can go and find the info however you want. Watch those videos, scan those sites. All right, who comes up with these ridiculous rating scales? Most people making sites and videos are likely somewhat talented, or they wouldn't feel emboldened to share with you. Some aren't, blah, 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 blah. Okay, there we go. However you get the basics under your belt, just remember, there's no secret to telling a great story as a DM. It just takes practice. All right, this one is going to stay. So this one we're going to leave italicized, get rid of that. I need to delete that and go find my Ralph here. Ralph cat. Boop. All right. Okay, there we go. Not sure if I watched it, but it's with Liam Neeson, so I might have on the list for rewatching. Yeah, that's the Liam Neeson one. It's got my gosh, what is the guy from Stranger Things? He played the cop, the sheriff or whatever of the town. That actor, he's in it also, but he's a bad guy. And he does a really good job of playing a bad guy, like a creepy bad guy. Yeah. This one is partway through the series, so you'd have to go, if you want to read some of those books, you should read them kind of in order, because Matthew Scudder, the main character, he's a retired police detective he's an alcoholic, and he also has got some darkness in his past, and he's got quite a cast of characters around him, including his girlfriend, I guess you'd call her, at one point in the books. May or may not be a Lady of the Night. All right, so that's the end of this chapter then. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all this text and we're going to go, because I'm going to take this into the other book format, and I'm going to plop it in here once and see what it does. All right, we're going to put this in here. This is going to be introduction. All right, let's open the other book format up. Where's my folder here? There we go. All right, here's the 6x9 inch version of the doc. What's it? Personal information removal enabled. Let's see. Okay, don't care about that. I'm testing something right now, game program. Not the acknowledgements. Introduction. Okay. Okay, so I got to put this in here. We're going to paste this in with text only. Now the question is, keep source formatting? Okay, so this took all the pictures out, which is fine, because this is one of the things I need to test. All right, so testing. Let's grab this. All right, so if I go back to my other document and copy one of these things out, oops, where's my document? All right, copy this out of here. We'll see if it keeps the formatting when I pop it in here. Okay, there we go. If I put this here. Okay, that could work. You walked into a test. Yes, Levistro, you did. You didn't watch Stranger Things? Okay. There were a lot of people who said they didn't watch Stranger Things. You can associate with that. You didn't study buys? Yeah, what I'm doing, Levistro, is taking the text from my rough draft of my Dungeon Master how-to book and throwing it into a Kindle Direct Publishing format for a 6x9 paperback. So, you know, a good sized paperback, and seeing how it works. Because I am interested in seeing how this spaces itself out. Because this should go up and shouldn't go over, and that's the margin. That's why it's doing that. Is this two of them? Yeah, it is. Okay, I gotta put this one here. And we'll throw this here. So why does it space it like that? Because I bet if I, yeah, see if I move it over, it does stuff like that. But if I put it here and keep it in line, then it doesn't do the same indent that it's doing here. So what I'd need to do is on this line, I'd need to, okay, change setting. Okay, that's fine. No, that's fine. Okay, well, we're going to undo that because I don't want to do it. I got to figure out why it wouldn't push this over, because it's supposed to wrap the text on the right. It's not through. It's not top and bottom. Square? Square doesn't do it either. Huh. And that moves it, but that doesn't actually move it over. So why would it not? I guess what I could do is this. Interesting. If I put it there, and then it doesn't go over. So what I could do is on these lines, just take the formatting over and move it. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing here right now. Let me see if I can actually swap what I'm doing here. Can I switch to the other document without breaking anything? Let me check. Let's see if I can actually get over to this one. Yeah, you can see the other document here. Lurk mode like sent. Thank you, Levistro. By the way, how are you liking, since I know you're lurking, you may not be able to answer, but how are you liking Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? I haven't, I'm playing other games and I can't bring myself to buy it yet. Mainly because of the way the guy has been acting. Like, trust us, bro. Like, okay, fine. If you want us to trust us, just tell us what you're doing in the game. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. So if we move this down, that would be there. Yeah, see, it moves it, but I don't know why it does that. Oh, is it because of that? Oh, let's see here. Yeah, it moves it in. It's interesting why it wraps it in, because the picture is not any differently sized here. Absolute position to the right of the margin. Okay. Position below paragraph. Move object with text. Allow overlap. No, I don't want to allow overlap. Wrap text both sides. Let's see both sides do anything. Left only, right only. So it's saying no change on top and bottom. Left 0.13, right 0.13. Huh. Absolute rotation, height 13%. Yeah, I don't understand why it's making the text go like this. It should be absolute to the right of the thing and tight to it. Maybe it's because I'm not doing square. Maybe it's not because I'm not doing square. Let's go back to square here. I think that'll help. Yeah, because I think it's trying to look at the image and see how much white space there is, and it's moving it in. I played KCD1, yeah, and I enjoyed it. It was one of the buggiest games I've ever played. I cleared out an entire force that was attacking a castle in a siege, the small castle you defend, by standing in a doorway and getting wedged into the doorway slightly, and I killed every single guy that came into the castle in that one doorway, and they never touched me. That's how well they programmed it. And I played some parts of the game like that, but I just enjoyed parts of it. Some of it was stupid, but I liked the overall aesthetic and the idea of the game. The ending of it was interesting, but also a little anticlimactic. All that said, I was kind of looking forward to the second one and was hoping, oh, good, I get to continue the story of this guy. But it sounds like I'm not playing Henry anymore. It sounds like I'm playing me as Henry, maybe, or something. It's like, oh, well, that's not what I wanted. Already cracked. Oh, that sucks. Clarify what CM said was wrong. Who's CM? I mean, yes, I have a problem with the ridiculous. They did the same thing in. If I wanted a guy from another culture to come lecture the British or lecture whoever about how backwards their civilization is, I would just go back and watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Morgan Freeman. Yeah, well, here's the thing, Levistro. They're definitely not, because they were adults at the time of the first game. Now they're older. Now, the way that you address it is the way you address it and say, they are not minors. What the guy said was, it was okay for a woman to marry at 12 back then. You're not. Ah. He should not be doing PR. He's just making people annoyed and not paying. Because as many copies as they sold, they probably could have sold twice as many. They could have sold 4 times as many. Who knows? They could have only sold 100,000 more, but that's still more sales. Just shut up, make your game, enjoy it, give a thumbs up, and walk away. Do your job. Oh, community manager. I've seen the screen. I've seen the actual, and it's an optional conversation. I don't care if it's an optional conversation. Could care less. It's in the story. It's all optional. It's in the story. It's part of the story. They put it in on purpose. They didn't. It wasn't an accident. Let's just say that way. And I've seen the screenshots of the actual conversation and seen a video of the actual conversation. Yeah, it's lecturing. It's the same. It's the same thing that Morgan Freeman's character did, calling them like, "How you guys ever got out of the dark ages is amazing. We are the best people ever." And I'm like, dude, if you're such a great country, why are you in England at that one? Or why is he in Bohemia? I mean, it's the same answer I'd ask, or a question I'd ask anybody if somebody was in there saying, Germany's the best country, we have the best. I was like, what are you doing in Bohemia? You're from Italy, and it's the best place ever. What are you doing in Bohemia? There's a reason you're here. You could be an envoy, you could be whatever. I really don't appreciate the, I never like it when someone says, trust me, bro. Like, no, don't do it, buddy. Just make a game. Yeah, and I don't care if it's woke or not. I just want the game to be fun. I want to play Henry. I don't want to play me playing Henry. I want to play Henry. He had a very distinct feel to him. And I don't want to make choices that are what I would want to do as Henry. I want to make the choices that Henry would be faced with. Like in The Witcher. When you make choices in The Witcher, you usually have maybe a bad choice, the other one that kind of feels like a bad choice, and then ostensibly the really bad choice. I'm like, wow, these are the choices I was given. Ooh, what would Geralt do? I'm like, yeah, here we go. He would do one of these three things. I mean, they changed some of that too in the later games, unfortunately, too. They kind of get rid of some of the bad, worse, and worse choice and gave you some good choices occasionally, which, that's one of the things I always dreaded and liked about Witcher was like, oh my gosh, what are they going to have me do now? You kill the baby ghost, save the baby ghost, and doom the village to death. Do I want to die faster or do I want to die slow? Yeah, it's a trope. It's a trope for a reason. And like I said, it's totally fine. They put that stuff in there. Just, own it. Say, hey, we put this in our game on purpose. I mean, it didn't help that one guy said, why didn't you have this in the game before? And they said, budget wouldn't allow it. It's like, is that your final answer? Because that's a weird answer. I do have to say, though, it is a little strange, too, having the, what was it? Were they saying that there weren't interiors at churches? And I'm like, oh, does the game not have a lot of scenes, like in churches and stuff like that? I didn't understand that whole controversy. I didn't really get it, honestly. Okay, there we go. That one fits on the page. Get rid of that, move that up. This is good. All right, some of this is working. I can copy these out of here and put them in there. So I just like playing games. I don't really care. I was playing a demo for whatever the hell it was. What was it? Eternal Strands. And woof. That's like somebody hit the game with a put everything in it stick, which is unfortunate. But some of the gameplay is fun. So why is that moving with that? I don't understand. It's supposed to be down here, and this one's supposed to be down here. I don't understand why it's moving with it. Yeah, this is weird. It's supposed to actually be not anchored to this. All right, well, we'll just pull this up. This is why I'm trying to do some of this formatting now, because I can figure it out. We'll put it probably about there. And we'll move this guy down a little bit farther, give it a little more room. Okay. There we go. Okay, and that will work. And then this one will go down below it. And we'll go there. We'll go up a couple. Though there was a spot in the game where they told me not to use fire. And I was like, why not? It worked really well. So I was confused by that one. Again, this is not quite lining up how I expect it to. Well, we'll figure this out. We'll puzzle this all out at some point. Fix it in post, right? Oh, boy, that does... Wow, Garamond, the font Garamond, does not look good in italics. Holy cow, that is a horrifying font. Anyway, did Henry bang Lady Stephanie, Teresa, or State of Virgin, save John? Is he confident or executed? Didn't notice that, but to be fair, I didn't go to churches except much for Mission K. Yeah, I mean, there was a church on the top, and then I thought there was a church in Kuttenberg? Wait, where the heck was it? In the chapel, or the chapel in the main part. But you also, I mean, you had the whole mission where you're in the monastery too. You could explore that entire monastery and go around and do all that stuff. And that was a pretty cool mission. You know, climbing on the roofs, pretending to be a monk. Vanguard funds it, and Endymion claimed it was a Christian game. We got exposed as liars because they never played it. I mean, quite honestly, there's a lot of stuff in the game that is, you know, medieval whatever, and a lot of people in that country and those areas in that time period were definitely Christian. So, don't know. Now, is this not spacing these out? Okay, this isn't spacing these out. That's good to know. I don't know who's funding it or much care about a whole lot of it. I mean, I just wanted to make a damn game that's good and not put a bunch of crap in it that is completely unimportant to the story. Unfortunately. So, all I want is a good game. And I'm glad for them that it sold well. And I hope that means that they're going to, you know, keep people employed and keep making games. Now, if the guy could just keep making games, that would be great. Because that's what we want from him. Same thing we want from people who make music and people who make, well, almost anything. Just make your stuff. We'll buy it. It's a good thing. All right, do I need a heading here? All right, so this is going to be the next setting, or this next part. This is going to have a heading. So what I'm going to be putting in here is a little, we're going to use asterisk at the moment. All right, what do we got? Front matter, body text, normal, All I want is to just center this. We'll just put it in centering. There we go. And we'll move this up so we don't have too big of a space between it. That'll work, yeah. KCD2 as its flusher, and Ark and I at Gay Henry are the more asking. Sure, it's plausible. Why? But is it good? Personally, I like it. Yeah, I don't even know if I would enjoy it, but I might. We'll see. I'm probably gonna wait for it to go on sale. That's my guess. What is this? First paragraph. Chapter title. Front material, body text. That just seems weird. Yeah, I don't know if I like that there. So, I mean, this is a subheading. And this is a heading. And that's a chapter. I don't know what CSP means. I think I might end up having to look in their formatted things. I'm going to leave this right here, and I'll just leave myself a note. All right, I'm going to put a couple more of these in, because I want to get some of these figured out. And go. Put that back to the side. Yeah, I play games to just play games and have fun. I don't want to be lectured by anything having to do with the real world, unless it's a game talking about, like, here's how something is in the real world, like a history game or something. I just want to play. I just want to play a game. It's all I want. Though hopefully they fix some of the combat bugs they had in the first one, because it was pretty ridiculous. I do remember the very first time I played it, you're supposed to be running away from the castle, and they made that mistake of, hey, we're going to have you run away. And if you stopped and did something or didn't do exactly what they wanted, the bad guys would just riddle you with arrows. And you're like, well, I'll restart that whole running sequence again. Like, oh, no. But oh, well. Okay, here we go. This is where it was. Barf. There we go. Calvino will close out this chapter with his little Ralph. And he'll go there. Move that down one, and we'll do that. There we go. Square is the way to do it. Tight to it doesn't work. Going square to the text does it. Don't trust every screenshot. Yeah, I checked with a number of people about those. I have a friend who's playing it as well, and he's like, oh yeah, it's pretty much what it says. And he's reloaded, and he goes back, and he's one of those people who will play a game, and he takes all the time to go through every dialogue tree because he wants to see all the options that he's missing. So he'll do saves and saves and saves and all this stuff. And in this one, I think he said, I can't remember if he said it was limited or what he said, but he said he had. Wait, was he talking about this game? Crap. Now I don't remember. I think you can save anywhere in this game. Can you save anywhere in this one, or is this one a milestone? Because he's also playing another one where there's a lot of dialogue choices and it's milestones. So he has to keep going back to checkpoints to come back and do conversation, because he wants to do all the branches, basically. And he wants to see all the stuff. So he's getting exposed to pretty much all the conversation with the main characters. He did say there was some lady in there that he was like, I really wish I could kill this character. I said, I think you can kick integral to the whole story and the plot. He said, yeah, this one is integral to the story and the plot. Okay. I don't know what the lady did to his Henry, but he doesn't like her. Quite honestly, what I don't understand is what's the point of putting it in there? I mean, sure, it's an option. You can put all kinds of options. Why isn't there like a goat sex option? Why isn't there an option to be a serial killer, Dark Urge, like in what is it, Baldur's Gate 3? Why aren't all the options on the table? Come on. Can I have a few wives? That should be on the table too, right? I should be able to have a harem. Henry's harem. If you're going to give us options, let us know why you're giving us those options and not having all the options on the table. Do they somehow think that option would be more popular than a harem option? Because quite honestly, I think the harem option would sell way more copies. I'm just saying there are a lot of anime fans out there who would love a harem. A medieval harem simulator? Come on. All right, so this is the next chapter. Okay, so how many pages did that take up? And how long is this book? Okay, so that's a pretty interesting. I'm doing an experiment with this. It's a pretty good test of seeing how this spaces things out. Now, they don't have a lot of white space between chapters here, right? Yeah, and these wrap kind of closely to them. Cats are racing right now. Position to save or sleep. Okay, maybe this was the one he was talking about because he was trying to. Oh yeah, because he was trying to find. Yeah. He doesn't like pretty women. Maybe you own it. That temporary, permanent. Okay. When I get from Daniel is he wants to recreate the medieval Bohemia to the best of his ability. Talk about the period. What does it have to do with the 2019 study? We don't care about 2019 study. Bohemia didn't care about a 2019 study. Yeah, and that if that's actually what they said, then that gives me pause because if you're making a game about medieval Bohemia, don't read into a 2019 study. That's stupid. Any more than they should be talking about Doge in the game, or I don't know, whales, and whether or not we should be using dynamite to clear them off the beach or something. I don't know. Whatever. Those things. Okay, why is this one? Yeah, that one looks like it's over farther. It's just my brain's probably doing it to me here. Oh, no. It's actually, aha. It's doing something still with that indentation. I'm going to leave it. I'm just trying to learn from putting the formatting in this version of the book. That's all I'm trying to do. Save Lord Capon's neck. Hans's father or Hans? And I'm assuming you can't kill him or let him die or anything because he's integral to the story, right? Okay. Is that working? I think this works. That puts this at this many pages. And I should look at how I want to do this. Because I think... All right, so header... How do I change... How do I change the header? Different first page, different show document, header from bottom, insert a close header and footer. Is there not a left header and a right header? Wait, is there? Let's see here. Type here, blank, 3 columns, but I don't want any of these things. Oh, these are styles. No, I don't want header styles. I want... Different odd... Oh, there we go. Different odd and even pages. Ah, there we go. Okay, we'll do that one. There we go. Okay, different odd and even pages. There we go. Now I've got it. And we'll have author name on the even pages and book name on the odd pages. Got it. Always hated Capon, but I got Pebbles and Mud. Yeah, I thought Hans's father was dead early on. That's why I was like, A lot of people came out saying Henry is now gay, contradictory to straight, because gay gene theory. Huh. I just find it weird that canonically in the first story, There's nothing about any of that. Henry was just this young guy, and he was doing his stuff, and there was no mention or anything about it. And then suddenly they're like, by the way, if you want to play your Henry this way, like, okay, why can't I be a circus clown? Why can't I just run off into the weeds and go do something? Give me all the options, damn it. If you're going to give me 2 options, give me 15. At least give me 3. Do I have a third option? Can I be Actually, can you be completely celibate in the game? I think you can, right? Or can you not? It's one big mess. It sounds like a mess. Like I said though, if it goes on sale at some point, I'll probably give it a shot. We'll see. I still haven't finished Stellar Blade on my PlayStation 5. I haven't played it in months. I wouldn't even remember how to get back into it at this point. But I have a few other games too, and I'm going to be playing one of them this afternoon. Ooh, that reminds me. I have to make sure that it's... Oh, I think I paused the install. Oops. Shooty, shoot, and shootness. That's not going to work well while I'm streaming. So when I get done streaming, I will continue the install so it doesn't kill my stream. No, I did not say start the... I didn't say start the download. Dang it, stop. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. You're probably going to get me robot for a second here. Let me stop that again. Dang it, I hit the wrong button and almost I started the install back up. Oops. What are you talking about? The main antagonist is gay and you can be a virgin in game. So you can be a virgin in game and they don't require you to. There's no push to be like, you must marry a woman and have children. All right, Mistro, go do those chores. 2-hour tutorial. Oof. 2-hour tutorial. Well, some games have complex things that they're trying to get across to you, and they make the beginning of the game feel like a tutorial. When you finally feel like, oh my gosh, I completed chapter 1, it'll suddenly say, welcome to the game. And you're thinking to yourself, what? That was all tutorial? Oh my. All right. No, why does it keep trying to... Okay, I started something crazy here. It's trying to update a whole bunch of games now. No! Stop trying to update all my games on Steam. Check the achievements in KCD. Yeah, I just didn't know because you would assume since, they want some kind of, continuance of bloodlines and stuff, they'd be like, hey, so when are you going to have a child? Okay, so I'm going to save this. I have to do some more research on the what do you call it? The other version of this format. So we're going to go back to this book. And we will save this off. Boop. And we got this one open still. Good, we got this one open still. Yay! All right. Huh. Blurp. Doo-doo. Boop, 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 boop. All right, there is this. I'm just getting a couple things straightened out here. All right. Now I get a phone call, shaking my phone. Who calls me? Oh, and they left a message. Okay. I'm not sure what they want. Huh. Oh man, my cats are getting tricky. Or the wind blew something. I had a paper plate I set outside with a little bit of food on there, or on it for him, a little bit of roast beef I pulled apart, and the wind blew it. It went boop over the top of the camera that I have out there. So it's sitting there just kind of stuck against the camera. It doesn't push. I mean, you have questions and technically a harem. Virgin and Lecher route. That's weird. That's weird that you can do them both, but I guess it makes sense. Well, I don't understand why they would even make it an option for Hans to not be just a lecherous white straight dude from Bohemia, because that's what he was. There was nary a mention of him ever doing anything else. Mostly he wanted to go hunt. All right, so on to this next section, because that's there. Your car's extended warranty. No, I hope that's not it, because I don't have a car. If so, we're going to have problems. Okay, so this is that page. Wait. Why is it complete? Oh, there we go. Page A. Okay. Okay, so then we will be reformatting these eventually. So I'm going to leave these in the wrong format so I can tell where they're at in the other version of the book. That will be good. Okay. Yeah, because I can see that the background of this thing is definitely not the correct background, because it's got, you know, some formatting around the edges and shapes and stuff. So that, I'm glad that I'm testing some of this stuff now. Oh my gosh, who? What? Why do you people bug me? What do you want? I almost started talking about King Julian. Okay. I literally answered your question. Okay, let's ask this question and send it out. Boom. That'll probably unleash the floodgates of chatting with people suddenly. Wait, did they... Okay, here's a question. Did they literally actually make Hans gay in this game? Did they just decide he's been through enough that now he's gay? What? Or is that something you can choose in the game and say, oh no, he's blah, blah, blah? Because that makes no sense to me. Or they did a terrible job storytelling in the first game. All right, I'm just reading through. Nope, that's right. Thanks, Word. You're wrong. You are incorrect. Lurk mode! Yeah, I never read reviews for games. I don't care what 90% of people have to say about reviews in games. I like playing them myself. The thing that I've seen is just the horrible mixed messaging coming from their group. They really need to get their act together, because they could have sold way more copies if they had just said, one voice, here's the note. Or, we're not responding to that. Done. So, here's the... Okay, wait. Are you saying then that Hans is just a dude and you get to choose whether or not he's gay? You, the player, get to determine whether or not the NPC is gay. Is this what I'm hearing? Isn't that how most games work? I'm not sure what you mean, Tomix. Which part? I'm saying because the people that I've talked to who are fans of the fact that you can have this gay thing didn't mention to me that Hans isn't gay and you make him gay. Yeah, but that's the problem with the games is then you're not making characters, you're just making thing like, what do you want this guy to be? Oh, okay, blarp, he's that now. I'm like, I like it in games more where a person's like, hey, that's really nice. I like that you really like me, but no thanks. Now, some people disagree and say that takes away player agency. Yeah, but that's also good storytelling because then the character actually has set attributes and set likes and set dislikes and this and that. Now, if they set the character up, like I knew a guy in college who lived in the house with me, and it was me, 3 girls, 2 gay guys, and this other guy who was undecided. And he was just very confused. He didn't know if he liked guys or if he liked girls or if he liked both. This was back in like the late 80s, early 90s. And my advice to him was, you figure it out. I mean, it's not that big a deal. There's no rush to figure it out. But my male roommates took him under their wing and took him to all their stuff. And he got very confused, and he was a very sad individual, but he was a little more malleable. If that is the kind of person that you have as a character, great. You can be like, oh, this person is confused, or they're not sure, or they just haven't really lived enough to really figure out what they do like. That'd be great if it was presented that way. I don't get that impression with Hans. Unless he thinks, well, you know, I'm such a lech and I'm so debauched that I've done everything on that side. Let's go try this. He successfully converts Hans to be gay. Wow. Go do laundry, Levistro. Do that laundry. Fold that laundry. Yeah, and making some of those choices, that can be good for storytelling. Now, is that you're saying? So the Johanka character can die, but the Teresa character cannot. Okay. I don't know. It feels like they were very loosey-goosey on their story choices. Or they're just conveying them really badly. It's possible. And that, what you're saying about successfully converting him sounds literally like one of my roommates in college. His mindset was that being gay was a choice, and he was gay by choice, and that he could convince any man to be gay as long as he got them drunk. And then he could, convince them, if you know what I mean. So that was his take on everything. One of my other roommates, opposite viewpoint. He was in the ROTC. So very interesting. So spaghetti until it's wet. I don't know. Is that a popular saying? Because that's a... No offense to whoever came up with it, but that's a pretty stupid saying. Because people are not spaghetti. Cannon is loose, been loose, people upset it's not loose, and Daniel doesn't handle it. Oh yeah, he didn't handle it well. But he's not a PR person. I don't even know what he is. Is he a producer? I don't even know what he does in the game, honestly. I have absolutely no clue. He talks on social media, I know that. Ba, ba, ba. All right, this is, yep. Wow, it doesn't even know this word. Oh, he wrote the story. So he wrote the story. Did he have a team of writers or did he write it himself? Because if he doesn't have a team of writers, then it's all his fault that everything is so messed up. Oh, he's okay. Got it. I will leave my opinion unspoken. Being a game developer, I will say nothing to that. I'm glad that they sold well, because it's tough to get games out nowadays that are gonna sell well. So it's good to see that somebody did something that hit on the right side of the market. That's good for the people working at the studio because they get to keep working, which is good. I like it. I like success. Okay. I did see that, what is that game? A Ronin? Some kind of a Ronin game is now coming out a week before Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's like, ooh. I don't know anything about the game. I just saw that it was coming out. All right, so here we go. Read this down. Sorry, I'm chatting with you guys and also writing this stuff and moving forward. By the way, Tomix, I tried out the demo for Eternal Strands. It had some fun, some little bits and pieces. The inventory system, you can upgrade how much you can carry, but I get my inventory filled within like 2 minutes and I have to go back to camp. But when you go back to camp, it drops all your inventory off and it resets everything outside, depending on where you are in the story. And you're the next day, night cycle. I'm like, oh no. So I tried it out and I ran around and I did some stuff, just testing it to see. And I tried leaving all the low-level materials on the ground and just getting the blue, green, and like other nice materials, bringing them back over and over, upgrading gear, and then realize that you can take the mundane materials, go fill up on them, come back, and turn those into camp supplies to upgrade things. And I'm like, interesting. It's got some little bit of unwieldiness here and there until you figure out the controls for how the bow works, and then you get a flame bow as opposed to your strand abilities. But I'm still installing the game, the main game, because I forgot to uninstall the demo. And then I was installing it. I'm like, oh no. Oops. Yeah, the Eternal Thread. That's one where you can burn stuff and freeze stuff and all this. But oh my gosh, the one thing they forgot to include was just a dude. They've got some guy with horns and glasses who has a wife who's an engineer and he's a magician, or he's whatever he is. They've got the lady who's a librarian, lore keeper. They've got a big bear dude. And your main character, the girl, I don't remember, she's a strand weaver. She's the point. She's the point man. And then they've got some bird lady. I'm like, okay. All right. Maybe I'll run into a dude somewhere. A few issues that people have with KCD. It sounds like it's still a well-written game. It's way better written than Veilguard. Some of the dialogue I've seen here and there is the cringiest crap I've seen in the little side things. Maybe because I haven't heard it. It's scene dialogue. It's written text on the bottom. I'm like, okay, that could be delivered horribly. So I'm waiting to see until I actually play it. When I'll wait for it to go on sale probably, unless I run out of games. Yeah, I don't know. I'm reserving judgment. I have no idea if it's well written or not. First one was funded on Kickstarter. Devs did admit the second was built on expectations they wanted for the first. Never heard of this game before. You told me about Eternal Strands. It was the one where you can burn and freeze the world. Like you can burn down like forests, and you can freeze things with ice and freeze water and stuff. Pretty sure you told me about it, didn't you? I thought you told me about it when we were talking about one of those gaming streams. Could have sworn it was you. Oh, okay. Well, somebody mentioned it to me, and I thought it was you. See, I just assume all of them are you. Mike Laidlaw game? I don't know who Mike Laidlaw is. That's like somebody talking about Snyder, the whatever his name is, the guy who makes movies. They're like, oh my God, it's a blah, blah, blah Snyder movie. Like, that means nothing to me. I don't know. There are very few people I know in terms of movies and things, like who actually are the creative forces behind whatever. I just don't know. It's not a thing I keep track of too well. I'm better with some writers of books and things. I assume everything. I always assume everything having to do with comics because it had a bear in it. So yeah. It had a bear. The Towers of I got to the end of where they were because I got into the last area and I cleansed it and did I don't remember what it was. The last thing I was supposed to do. I didn't get all my forest things up to level 5 because I just didn't want to bother. I've been like, whatever, I'm leaving it alone. So I haven't done anything else with the game because I didn't think I really needed to 100% the current version. So RTS Space City Builders. Yeah, they're kind of fun. Oh, Laidlaw was creative director for Dragon Age and Mass Effect. No clue. Desynced update. The problem I had with Desynced comics is it got so complex with me trying to figure out how to program these things. I'm like, oh God, now I feel like I'm working. So I had to take a step back and just think, am I ready for this? It's the same thing I was doing with that shapes game. It was kind of fun, like merging and cutting and moving shapes and stuff. And then I finally realized, oh my gosh, this is a game for people who have OCD about shapes. I couldn't keep doing it. Because like you got to stack 3 shapes, but you got to cut the lower 4th quadrant out and then rotate it and then put in 2 quadrants of another thing. Oh my God. That's not something I found fun. Oh, they simplified the stuff into sync? Oh, I might have to give that a shot again. Because oops, I just minimized my document here. Because the beginning of it was really fun. I really liked it. Yeah, I'm playing I think Shapes 2 is the one I'm playing. I just couldn't. Ooh. So I played Ixion. I think, do I still have that? Wait, did I play the demo? Let me look at my library. Do I have it? I don't remember. I don't see it in here. Did I? Oh, that's in the wrong category. Where is my library? I have a lot of games in my library. Do I own it? Did I own it? Okay, why don't I see it in here? I played it. I remember playing Ixion. Oh, no, that's Jotun. Huh. Was there a demo at some point? Maybe that's what I played. Because I remember you had to get through certain parts to get to different areas of the ship and stuff. Yeah, I remember playing something. Space-time update live and distinct. Variety of human buildings. There was a combat update. Huh. Interesting. I may have to give that another shot. I saw they updated Age of Water. They updated Icarus. Though they didn't really add anything. It was really making me excited, like loot bosses or world bosses you could loot. Eh. Artillery is awesome. Okay. Now, is the combat update meaning that they gave you better ways to defend? Is that what it was? I remember at the beginning I had some trouble getting the pushing the stuff back or filtering the stuff, whatever it was I was getting. Like there was something. I just don't remember. I just know harvesting was tough in a few spots. I may have to just start it over completely, just with fresh eyes. Fresh eyes. But I think this afternoon I'm going to be doing probably Eternal Strand. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, I think I'm pretty much done doing writing for the moment because I got myself in a game mindset now. I was never attacked, but when I went to attack various areas, the different weapon types actually felt like they matter. I thought that there were things that came in and attacked you occasionally. Weren't there some creatures that came by on the fringes of your area that would come in and try and wipe you out? No? I don't know. I thought I'd gotten attacked. Maybe not. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go, just like Levistro, I'm gonna go do some laundry. And I was hoping to get some work done on my setup here for my green screens, but I haven't gotten very far because I have to pack up some stuff back here and move it. I'm gonna do some of that while this is downloading. I'm surprised it's 24% completion rate. I'm surprised it's that far because I have how do I see how many games I have in my collections, downloads? How do I see my total number of games? Oh yeah, I have 449 games in my library. So I'm kind of surprised it's that high. Given the number of horrible games I found and the number of early access games that I've played to completion, but then they released the end of the game. I'm like, I actually already completed it, technically. Woo! Yeah, on this account, I have 449 games. On my other account that we were working on stuff with the team from Valve back in the day, I had an account that gave me access to every game. So it has a few more games in its library, let's just say. But that's all work-related stuff, and I don't play on there. I mean, it's weird. I never completed No Man's Sky. How strange. How unusual. Yeah, so I'm going to actually, what is actually? What are you actually? You've been playing the new No Man's Sky right now? Oh, okay. I got so lost back in the day when I got back into it, and I was trying to remember how to do stuff with my big ship, and I kind of wanted to just nuke my freighter ship thing and just start over. But it was just too much. I had too much stuff invested in that crappy ship because I grabbed the first ship I could find, and there was no elegant way at that point of just saying, "Oh, I want a new freighter, put it all over in there," because you could build the interior spaces and everything. It's like, so yeah, I didn't bother. I went back to the planets I had. I'm like, oh my gosh, I had some mines running on these planets, didn't I? Think that giving it another go would be a good idea? I might have to. Oh, they redid the freighter building? Can you get a new freighter easily? Or do you have to go through a rigmarole and get rid of it? Because I wanted to get a new freighter, because the one I had was this crappy thing that was just like random freighter that I got. And I never got another one. So I don't know. You just kind of upgrade? Okay. Oh, some of the ocean worlds. Yeah. Yeah, could be fun. Could be fun. B rank freighter start to run into an A rank. But I mean, you can't have more than one freighter, right? So you have to, if you can afford it, you buy a new freighter and then you have to transfer everything, or does it do it for you? Because I don't even know. I honestly don't have a clue. Subtracts the value of your old one? Okay. Huh. You don't think you'd lose anything? Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Well, the thing is, I never, in the main game, I never even unlocked those runes that you needed to travel and finish the storyline or whatever. I just ended up going off in some bizarre random direction doing stuff. And at some points, I'm like, I couldn't even tell. I'm like, am I in a different dimension or somebody else's universe? I'm like, where the hell am I even? Maybe they fix that. Yeah, kind of the point of the game, going in a random direction. Yeah. I just have no idea if I was even completing any part of what was supposed to be done to unlock more cool stuff. So I was just literally having fun going, that way and doing a thing. And occasionally I'd find one of those little runes or plaques or whatever the hell they were. It transferred when I did a trade in. Oh, okay. All right. Huh. I have to give that a shot at some point. Interesting. Can do the quest anywhere and anytime. Like if you go too far away from a quest, it just moves the quest to a closer system. Okay. Oh, it's way better than Starfield. Starfield was so limited. It was just, yeah. It was very limited. Fun times. All right. Well, I am going to run off here because I'm going to go try and work on my green screen stuff. I doubt I'm going to get anywhere on it because I have a bunch of stuff to still pack up before I can even hang the new green screen, but we'll see. I'm going to keep downloading, and I'm going to be hopping on a little later to play Eternal Strands, which I'll be playing the full game, so I'll be starting over from the beginning. And you can watch me roll around on the ground and be like smashed by creatures. Free DLC ship you can get, which is pretty cool looking in S rank. Oh, nice. All right. Well, you guys have fun out there. I will see you back here where I can complain about a completely different game a little later on. It'll be great. I'll be complaining about the lack of inventory space. Damn it! All right. Thanks for coming up by. If you're looking at me over on the YouTube, please leave a comment and a like. I'm up to, I think I've got 36 subscribers on YouTube now. Woohoo! The perfect number, but I want it to go a lot higher. So I will talk to you all later, and I'm gonna go get some stuff done. Get some laundry done, get some hanging of stuff done, and get some boxes moved. It's gonna be epic. Talk to you all later. Bye.